here in another day of vlogmas, and little Dorrit, another Dickens, third Dickens of the year that I finished. This chunky book, 860, what was it, 62 pages, I think. Oh no, 860 page. And let me tell you, loved it. Absolutely loved it. This is a story that surprised me. Now, I had this book on my shelf for probably, I would say 5 years. About 5 years. And the length of it intimidated me a little, because I'm like, 860 pages of Dickens, and Dickens can, I've read quite a few Dickens. I think I'm up to book 6. I think I've read 6 books now. And I am definitely a person who love-hate relationship with him. So I went into this that never knowing what I'm going to get. Absolutely love it. This is a rags to riches story. It is centered around England, a time period when the particular area of England was pretty poor. So you had people who were dependent on banks and oftentimes taking credits that they can't pay back, or the system is set up where they won't be able to pay it back. And they end up in debt prison. Now, debt prison is more like a project in terms of it's not a traditional prison, but they're basically living there and they cannot leave. And they won't be able to leave until they pay their debt off. But they can have their family there. They can have their kids living with them, or other family member living there. These family members can come and go as they please within a curfew. Now, they do have a certain time of day when the gates open and certain time of the day when they close the gates. So in this, you're following two family. You following the Dorrit, which is where you got the little Dorrit, and then you also following Clenham family. Now, this is follows young girl here. Now, they can have a way of explaining young girls and make you think they're freaking young as hell, but she's really in her early 20s. And she is this lovable character who would do anything for her father. Now, she's not the only child for her father. Her mom died at giving birth to her, and so she has a sister and she has a brother, and they're not sticking around because they don't want to live in that that circumstance. But she stays around taking care of her father, finding jobs and doing whatever she can do so that she can feed herself and also make her father a little bit more comfortable. Now, her father was once someone with respect that now no longer have that kind of respect because he's in a debt prison. Now, she goes to work for a family, the Clenham, work with me with the name, family, and this family have a bit of secrets, and there are things that are unsure, but their son came home to let his mother know that their father had passed away. But before the father passed away, he basically said he some kind of guilt because he did someone wrong. He did the family wrong, that kind of deal. So he died never knowing what his father meant by that, hoping his mother would tell him. So he's there now digging, but he crossed paths with little Dorrit. So there's that mystery girl that he's like trying to figure out what's going on with her, how she end up in that prison. So he's like the good Samaritan in the story. He's walking around helping. He do not want anything to do with the family business. So he went in partnership with another guy to this factory, and that's the life he was living. But he was helping out in the community. There was this particular character who was collecting rent and collecting money, and you know, he would see them doing certain things and help out. That's just his personality. So they both were good people, but there's a huge significant in the story age gap. So he's not really looking at her in a certain way because of the age gap, while she's looking at him in a way of she started adoring him because of how she seemed helping out and doing all this stuff. So this is where you get this. But in their story, there's other shenanigans going on. There's other family, you know, mess that's happening, and you are like, you know, it kept the pages going because you're not just focusing on these two characters. Now, what he did with this book that surprised the heck out of me is how he flipped the script in this story. You have half of the story where they're poor in their prison, and the other half, they got money. So I'm not going to tell you how they got money, but they got money. Now they're out of the debt prison. Now they're in society, got titles and all. And you see where things get complicated for little Dorrit. She doesn't know life outside of a debt prison. She doesn't understand it. She is forced to behave and speak a certain way and act a certain way, and she just want to go back and crawl back in the debt prison. That's the mentality that she has because of what she has experienced. I was like, oh my God, girl. But then at the same time, I'm thinking, yeah, I can see how that can, you know, influence somebody not wanting to you know, to experience certain things. Love that part of the story, but it's like it's a learning lesson in this. I think they can touch on you never know your faith, to always be kind and helpful, because things might flip and you in a situation where the people you help will return that favor to you. So you see that in this story. Now I'm gonna go on some characters because I had to write it down because there's a lot of characters in this. And so of course we have Amy the Dorrit, author. John. Oh my God, guys. John gave me, if you read A Tale of Two Cities, that love situation, that's what John gave me in this. John was just, oh, poor John. He was such a lovable character, but oh, his heart was broken in this. And it was just so sad, and you just felt his pain. But you know, that's just life. You have Fanny, which is the sister for little Dorrit. Let me tell you, now that's a bitch. That, her sister, there's moments when I just want to choke her when I'm reading, and there's moments when I'm like, yeah, bitch, you better tell her. There is this moments where she is telling this woman off. I won't tell you who the woman is to her, but it's like when she's telling this woman, I was just like, whoa, like, her sister's a bitch. You have Flora. Oh, Flora. Lord, Flora. The way he described Flora, I thought he was just wrong for that. Flora in this book is a character. A character. Then we had Flitwick. That's the face I'm gonna give him. Oh, you have Panks, yeah. That damn Dickens, way he described this one that he makes sounds when he talks. Look, why he gotta do that character like that? Dickens is an asshole in his book. He's a brilliant writer, but the way he creates characters, yeah. So, Arthur's mother, that's another bitch. That's another bitch. Oh, and Maggie. Oh, Maggie. Maggie had me thinking she was young as hell at first, and then I'm like, this ain't no young girl. She just childlike. Like, I love Maggie and Amy's friendship. It's just adorable. And it was sad because in the beginning they got locked out, and it was just like, oh, you know, they couldn't. So if you can't tell, I wish, unfortunately Dee Dee wasn't able to read this with me, because this would have been so good to talk with somebody about, because there's so many laughable moments in this. And there's a secret that you learn, that there's a secret in the beginning of the book, and you don't know what the secret is. I kid you not. Where did I get to when the secret was revealed? Like page, I can't remember. It was damn near the end when the secret was revealed, and I had to read it like a couple of times because I was confused. Like, what? Like, and then I read it again. I'm like, okay, because I was thinking, if that's, you know, like, I had to question a bit, like, what the hell. But it's a secret that was just interesting, guys. This is a story that is worth reading. It is very entertaining. I didn't have, like I said, this version was so readable, and it didn't feel like a bunch of unnecessary stuff. It was just because there's, like I said, there's a lot of characters in this. It's not just the ones I named. There's other characters. So there's stories within stories that's going on in here. There's a French guy that is, you know, stirring the pot, that French man. And there's another woman that's a bit creepy in this. There's stories within stories in this. There's traveling in this at one point when they, you know, they're traveling to different countries, you know, where money start flowing, you know. There's certain things that went on in this that it's just worth it. I really wish I could just yap and yap and yap with somebody about this. I love that there are photo in here and of, you know, certain things that's happening, and it's just, there's a lot of lovable characters, but there's a lot of characters that are just the worst. But again, the situation with the banks was interesting in this, and how these banks was just like completely destroy people's life. In this, there was no safety net with these banks. These banks could completely get all your money, and you are out there with nothing, and there's nothing you can do about it, and now you're in a debt prison. So, you know, it showed how unsecure, and there was no insurance going on with these banks. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really one of his best so far. Like, he definitely improved with his ending, because this is the third one for this year, and this one I like the ending. I like the ending for Oliver Twist. The old Curiosity Shop ending, no sir, what the hell. You know, there's so many things in this that was just interesting. The high society life, you know, the people with the money, how they were behaving. It was such an entertaining book, and the women really showed out in this. This was really the women showing out, because like I said, there were some bitches. So I'm gonna end this here, and one other thing I could say is, when you finish a big classic, it feels really good, guys. It feels so good, because you're like, yes, I got that one off the list. And after reading the count, you know, these are not as intimidating, because like the count is, you know, 1,200, and this is 860. So yeah, guys, if you can't tell, you want some drama, some messy Charles Dickens character, get with this. So yeah. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day. Bye.